The guy was a kind of a priest, Muslim priest, in the Islamic library. He reads the book of Aqdas and Bayan, the book of Bab and Bahaullah, became Baha'i, and they put him back into the psychiatric department. And one day a Baha'i passed by, and he finds out there's a Baha'i here. And he says, we don't have any Baha'i that we know of. He take the matter to the Shiraz assembly, and they came and said, Mr. Mubakir was telling me the story, and he bring a lot of verses from Quran and this and that. I wasn't too much interested into hadith and traditions and verses and proofs, because I said, the proof is already there. There has been a Baha'u'llah and a Baha'i faith, and the people have died. So we have to know what it is. It's not so much Islam has got to do anything with this. So in these days, I remember I saw Tawhid Ahdi Fard, who was about, I think, 5 years older than me, a very nice gentleman, a working guy, and he was, I think, in some government job. After the meeting finished, he took me outside and he asked me, we started to talk friendly. I wrote some of my poetry to him. He really got interested in it because he himself used to write poetry. So then he invited me to his house and read me the poetry of Baha'u'llah and the hidden words, and that was it. That day I say that I was completely got into Baha'u'llah. Then I kind of realized, because I abstained myself from sex and I had the love towards an object, I should say, a beloved, a woman, that washed away and burned away my attachment to Islam, to Christianity, to a lot of wrong things that they were doing in Iran. All those things I saw, it's not correct. But if I had sex, it would kill it. I know it now. But because I didn't have, the energy was big enough that it transferred me from Emma to Baha. Emma is the name of the girl, and now Baha is the manifestation of God. So, and one day I remember I was on the somewhere in my area. I was waiting for her to come back from work. This girl was working right now then. I think I was about 18 years those days, or 17, I don't know. So she didn't show up. I had an urge to write, and I got a cab and I went to Saint Khandan from where I was on the corner of a street called Champs-Amétrie Dovom, and I don't know, 45 Metri Saint Khandan, that's another highway, on that corner. I went there to our house in Saint Khandan, to the basement where my brother's house was there, and I wrote that poem called Gharqe dar Ruh Baha, immerse into the spirit of Baha. It's unfortunately in Persian, I can't translate it for you. So this is what I came to understand, that the meaning of the word of Baha'u'llah, where he says that adultery makes the spirit ceases to grow. I've seen my life in the West. People who do a lot of adultery, a lot of free sex, they are totally like a stone cold. It's just there's no way to talk to them. It just seems totally their soul is seized. I've seen it with my eye, believe me. Some people ask me that, you people in the Middle East, how do you get this power of faith? Where are you getting it from? We don't understand it even, And I explain always. Faith, which in Arabic or Persian word is for it is iman. Iman, I-M-A-N. Iman means faith. Faith is by doing over and over something. The guy who's an atheist, send him 1 year, I said that before example, send him to a church for 1 year every day, no matter what, just go. He will be brainwashed. After a year, if you tell him, okay, I don't want you to go there, but he will go. Because it gets habituated. You've done something so far, so much, you get habituated and you want to do it. This is why when you say, I believe and I have faith, it could be in the wrong things. People of different beliefs are there and they're ready to die for their beliefs. It's because not based on science, based on fact, based on understanding, just simply by doing over something. This is what people in Saudi Arabia or all these fundamental Islamic country, You have all this fasting and praying, obligatory prayers and dressing and uniform and all that, and they feel the whole world owes them, and they are spiritual. Spirituality is just these few actions that they think they should be doing, and they call themselves faithful and everybody else kafir, which means infidel. Bahaullah tells us on the very first of Kitab Baghdad, I am not telling you to have iman or faith towards me. Don't say I believe you, Baha'u'llah. Say I recognize you, I understand you. That word in Persian and Arabic is irfan. Iman means faith, irfan means understanding. Baha'u'llah says no iman. Please, irfan, understand, recognize, use your brain. Know what it is, experience it. This is the story between learning and earning. You can read to become a physicist, a chemist, anything you want by learning. But learning does not make you generous or brave or fall in love or understanding it. No, this is about earning. You have to earn it. You have to fight for it. You have to go to see what is going on. So this is why, not just by abstinence of the sex that is in the case of youth, also those people who are freedom fighters, philanthropists and whatever, they can, because they create a love in them, because they're doing something sacrifices, not for themselves, for others. And that creates feeling that can lead them towards the truth, becomes a fuel. Like the North Africa today, you can see the countries of Tunisia or Libya, Egypt, and now it's going to Algeria. All these Muslims, they had no role model because they couldn't follow the West. They're too proud. And all the role models were these huge dictators, and they didn't want them. So Osama bin Laden, emerges out, and people say, okay, this is the guy that emerging out of I don't know where. They just liked him and they were following him. But Americans, who are essentially, not knowingly, going the truth, these Americans are special, which is originally English. They were trying to go to East India, they ended up to America. Same way. This happened again in our time, not knowingly, but they were going in the right path anyways. They elected Obama. Obama was evolved out of American society. TV was saying 25% of Americans think he's Muslim. In Egypt, where I was, 75% people think he's Muslim. He became the role model for all these North Africans because of this appearance. He looks like a Tunisian or Algerian or Egyptians. People said, no, why Obama? We were going to go to him. He's the role model. That's the psychology behind it. Off the topic, but the end story is that the fuel, the energy required to go towards the spirituality, the door, the gate, Baha'u'llah, to recognize him, you have to have that energy, the background. Baha'u'llah says in Hidden Words, I'm paraphrasing, but the two people of the same type, they're seeking each other. If you're always into the physics, then Albert Einstein and appreciate it. If you study a lot music, then you know Beethoven. If you're in humanity, and you have human quality of forgiveness, bravery, then you would end up recognizing Baha'u'llah. Even if you don't know him, the moment they tell you, say, oh, this is my type. So you go towards your type, you get attracted to. That's how. So the fuel behind it is those spiritualities and those attributes. It seems it comes, one of the best ways comes from serving another person in a form of love and opposite sex, or serving the cause of humanity, as a philanthropist, helping people, giving money to them, a freedom fighter. You want to create freedom, get rid of dictatorship, or even an environmentalist, which is not service to humanity directly, but to the nature. All of these have a great chance to get in there. But the best practical way, in my opinion, if you want to appreciate Baha'u'llah, you put a plug on that sex drive. It will turn into energy, a positive energy. You must do that and you'll see. You will get there. Without it, I'm sorry, it is impossible. Because he says, the spirituality will cease to grow. You get seized up, he says, if you have adultery. Almost impossible. Because when the energy of the sex is just very, very powerful, it turns into love. Love brings those qualities, as I said. It is towards an object, a person, a beloved, something that you see. So that's how you travel from the object of love to the subject of love. First is an object, it's like an idol. Then that get rid of. Those days you were in love with beautiful, but you end up in love with beauty. Okay, with the powerful, now you're in love with power. You were seeing a generous man, now you're in love with generosity. You fall into the actual attributes and quality, you go after that. And then you will see the most beloved, which is the embodiment of all of that. So that's how we get to the Baha'u'llah. Continuing the discussion of the past, really, this one is. And next time I'm going to say the other part. He says, okay, now you're a Baha'i, you recognize me, now you have the admission in this university, but by no ways you're a graduate. No way. That one is way more difficult. As difficult as nobody dies 100% graduated. Hopefully, most of the people get a passing mark at least. And that's what he says. If you recognize me, you have to do what I tell you. And he says that. The knowledge and the deed has to go together. It's just like two pairs. Everything is made out of pair. Electron, proton, Adam, Eve, sun, earth, moon. It's just there's these two factors, yin, yang. In this case, it's action, deed, and the knowledge and the understanding of it. Now we're going to study what is he asking us to do so we can actually get there where he wants us. We join him to the point that we become him. All right. For all the Persians, the Baha'is, and all the people of the earth. Today is the Baha'i festival, most important. One of the most important ones is called Nowruz, the new day, first day of the spring, that's actually tomorrow. And happy Nowruz to all the Persians, to all the people, and to the Baha'is. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.